Hi, I'm Snez, personal trainer, healthy lifestyle coach, and your guide to feeling your best. This podcast is a segment from my weekly radio show, Wellbeing Wednesdays, broadcast live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. It's all about sharing real, practical tips to help you move more, eat better, and live healthier without the overwhelm. Let's dive in, shall we? All right, coming up next, going to be talking about some must-do swaps. Now, this is a thing that I think is a really great way to make some simple steps to improving your health and wellness. A lot of the times we feel it needs to be a huge overhaul, but making some brief swaps can be really game-changing when we are trying to make improvements to our health. Because the biggest challenge I find working with people is that, and even working with myself, I must say, is that when we need to change up a routine or a behavior or a pattern that we've always done. And I find that that can be more challenging to change a particular routine or ritual that we have rather than swapping out the components of that routine or ritual to make it a healthier version. So I'm going to give you some smart swaps that I think that you can make that are going to, they're going to allow you to have less processed food, more nutrient dense foods, and they'll be better at stabilizing your blood sugar levels, which basically means more energy more consistently throughout the day and less cravings, which is even more important. Now, I'm going to start with the big one, okay? So I'm going to dive right into the probably the most challenging one. If you are out there listening and you are a coffee drinker, then you'll be like, Snez, you clearly are not a coffee drinker. But let's just launch into this one first and have the tough conversation first. Now, the coffee thing is obviously people rely on it a lot. But now I'm going to give you a smart swap for coffee. It doesn't necessarily mean it'll be the best swap for your morning coffee, but it is a great swap for if you are out and about, especially in these cooler months, and you're wanting to have a warmer drink and you are out at the shops, you're probably getting a bit peckish, but it's not quite lunchtime or it's not quite dinner time or whatever, and you would just go for a latte. Well, my challenge to you is to swap that out and go and get yourself a miso soup. Now, the reason why I explained that to start with was because if I had said, okay, we're swapping out that morning coffee with miso soup, I think it probably would have been a blank listenership in today's show. But I'm talking more about making a swap out for coffee with miso soup when you are out and about, so you're not adding that extra calories and that sugar spike high and lows that coffees can bring. So miso soup, why miso soup? Well, it is so super cheap. So the first thing is you're going to save money on going and buying a cup of miso soup. I'll tell you in a second where to get it from. And as opposed to coffees, which I know are increasing in price. Again, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't know exactly. But miso is also a fermented food. It's rich in probiotics. It's going to support your gut health. It's hydrating, it's warm, and it's soothing. And it is quite nutrient dense as well. The savoury, the umami flavour that it does have can satisfy the taste buds as well. And I think it's just a really great swap. So where you get your miso soup is you'll be quite surprised to know that pretty much all of the places that sell the sushi, you can get your miso soup there. And it's just a cup. You just ask for a cup of miso soup. It's very simple. And it will have usually a teaspoon of miso mixed through. There will always be some seaweed in there as well, and some spring onions and some little bits of tofu. And there's different variations of that depending on what shop you go to, and you don't need to go to a restaurant for these. These are those sushi takeaway places, all have them, and I love popping in there and just grabbing. I'm not a coffee drinker again, but I just love if I just need something a little bit just to tie me over, or I'm feeling a little bit flat, which usually comes from dehydration. Being at the larger shopping centres, it is really a great way to just give yourself that little snack to tie you over to lunchtime or to dinner time, and also to keep you hydrated and feeling better. And it's not going to come with any sugar highs and lows as a result as well. So cheaper, more nourishing, more satiating, and it is also better for you. Now, going back to if you are wanting to replace your morning coffee with some miso, then absolutely you can give that one a go. My second swap is a really good swap as well, and that's just ditching the soft drinks and just trying a kombucha as instead of. Now, kombucha is a naturally fizzy drink. It's tangy and it's full of probiotics. It supports your digestion, your metabolic health. It has very minimal to no sugar in most of them. They're fermented, so it's going to give you those good probiotics and antioxidants with less sugar. It is a fermented tea, so lots less sugar. And this for me is just such a smart swap because soft drinks, whichever way you go with them, whether you are doing the full sugar ones, which is the one that I recommend, and the reason why I recommend them is because the artificial sugar in the zero sugar drinks, we're starting to again, I saw it in the news this week, that where there's been some new research on the detrimental effects of using that product over the long term. So it's just a really great swap. It makes sense to me. It's usually there quite near each other in the fridge section, easily accessible. Make sure that you do go for the organic kombucha brands to really keep it clean. The best ones really are from your health food shops, but there are some good options in the supermarkets as well. And you're going to not only hydrate, but you're going to boost your gut flora. And again, it's going to help to regulate mood because you're regulating blood sugar levels. Simple and easy. So if we're getting rid of the soft drinks, well, hey, we may as well get rid of the chocolate bars. And a really simple swap is to just swap it out for the protein bars. And look, there is such a variety of protein bars out there at the moment. Some are good, bad, ugly. But the thing is that they're going to be a better combination for you because not only are you getting that sweetness, which they are usually achieving with xylitol and those plant-based sugars rather than cane sugar, which comes with all the calories and the blood sugar fluctuations. But protein bars also give you sustained energy because of the protein in them that slows down the sugar absorption, but also stabilizes your blood sugar levels, which are going to help you to keep feeling fuller for longer. And the thing is, the diverse range of flavors out there, like there's some strawberry cake collagen bars out there. Like some of them you can look at them and you think, well, is this really going to be that much better? But the reality is when we're comparing them to chocolate bars, they're usually loaded with added sugars and artificial flavorings and fats and some bad fats for you, whereas you're not going to get that in the protein bars. Now, having a protein bar is probably not something I'd recommend every day, but for those moments when you just feel like some chocolate, that is absolutely a much better option to go for. And what you will find, especially if you are having it in the afternoon, you're sort of feeling peckish for that afternoon snack, it is going to stabilize your hunger as well. So then you'll face dinner not feeling as hungry when you've had a protein bar, whereas when you've had chocolate, you will get to dinner feeling hungrier again, and you'll be on a sugar low, and then it may lead to over-consuming for dinner, which you won't get that when you're using protein bars. The other one, this is a really simple and easy swap to make, and this is Greek plain yogurt for flavoured yogurt. So flavour yogurts are really sneaky bombs of sugar, really, and they can be as sugary as some desserts. So when we swap this out, this is a very simple swap. If you're having yogurt as a morning snack or an afternoon snack, it's just, as I said, it's not changing what you're doing. You're just changing the option that you're having at that time. So Greek yogurt is packed with protein and probiotics without the added sugars. And you can sweeten it naturally. If you don't like that sort of Greek yogurt taste, you can naturally sweeten it with fresh fruit or a drizzle of good quality honey or maple syrup, and add in some nuts or seeds for texture and some healthy fats. And then all of a sudden, you're going from quite a high sugar snack to something that is going to improve your gut health, give you sustainable energy, give you some protein, healthy fats, and it's nutrient dense and so much better for you. So there's lots of ways that you can just swap out, some other things that you can do, some homemade popcorn, swapping them out for potato chips, for example. You could do nut butters instead of margarine or just plain butter, which butter is better than margarine, but when we're leaning towards nut butters, we're getting some of the good nutrients in there. And like almond spread, for example, almonds, do have a good amount of iron in them. So you're just getting more nutrient dense foods, which is more important because you're feeding your body adequately. But water with lemon instead of cordials, that's a really easy swap that you can make. So there's lots of different ways, and maybe have a look at some of the places where you are consuming processed foods and think about, well, how can I make this into a more wholesome option? What components of this meal or this snack could I swap out and simplify for wholesome ingredients? So these swaps, they're all about minimizing the processing, but also maximizing the nutrient density. And the less processed the food is going to help to stabilize your blood sugar levels, meaning less sugar crashes and less mood swings with the hangry roller coasters throughout the day. But they're also going to nourish your body with protein, fiber, probiotics, vitamins and minerals so that you feel focused and balanced more consistently throughout the day. So give it a go next time you're about to reach for that sugary coffee or chocolate bar. Just think about what else you could be swapping these things out for. Thanks for joining me on this segment from Wellbeing Wednesdays, as heard live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who might find it helpful and subscribe so you never miss a show. Want to catch the live broadcast? Well, you can tune in Wednesdays from 12 till 2 p.m. on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM, or find my info on Wellbeing Wednesdays with Snez, the Facebook group. Take care, stay healthy, and remember, it's the little choices every day that create big changes. Talk soon.